Now, while I'm at that, we got a data service, but now I want to cover another common case, that you inject a service into a service. Right now, we're injecting our services into components, but components aren't the only places where we can inject services. And oftentimes you will need services in services. For example, when using Angular 2's built-in HTTP service later on to reach out to the web. So let's say I want to inject my log service into the data service, because each time I add data, I want to log it. Now, of course, I could type console log, but I think you will get my point. Now, I can do this by adding a constructor here too. And then I have a private log service. And of course, I need to import it. So I'll add the import at the top. Import log service from log service with // at the beginning. And then I can say this log service that was German, write to log, saved item, and then maybe the name or the string which was saved. So we might do this, though this won't work. But let's see what happens here. Well, we get a difficult error message here. And to be honest, that's not the best error message I've ever seen. But the key problem is that you can only inject anything, not only services, anything in Angular 2 into classes which have some kind of metadata attached to them. Be that the add component decorator or metadata, the add directive metadata, or in this case, best suited, the add injectable metadata, which is why you saw that pre-configured at the beginning. So I'll add the import here from add Angular core, injectable, not inject, injectable import. So now I'm at the point where I need this log service on the root level. So I will remove it from my individual components here. Also remove the import, because I now need it to be available for every single piece of my application, for all classes. So I'll add it here, log service, add the import, log service from, not that, app folder, then the service folder, and then this should work, provided that you added it here to the index file, which I'll do right now, log service, so that it gets exported here. And now I'm importing it here in my main bootstrap file. I'm using it here. And now you can see that this works again, even though it's still red here, but that's just a bug in my IDE. This is working. So now if I save something and store it, you can see saved item test or test2. So now the injection of a service into a service works because I've A, provided it on a root level so that not only my components with the providers metadata have it available, but the whole application, all classes. And B, because of the injectable metadata here. And keep that in mind. You don't necessarily need that injectable metadata if your service is only injected into something else but doesn't receive any injections. You only need the injectable metadata if your service is receiving injections, in no other case. So that's very important to keep in mind. And with that, you're able to inject services into services.